Hi, I'm Sahar,
And I'm Shreya. Welcome to our show, Only Spoilers.
where I tell Shreya about a book that I've read or a movie that I've watched. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about the movie Last Christmas. Are you going to watch it, Shreya?
Definitely not.
Then let me tell you all about it.
Okay. All right, a Christmas movie in January.
Yes.
That's
And
okay.
it's named Last Christmas. So it's pretty appropriate,
Okay,
right?
I guess so. If you say so. My God. Wait, are you okay with the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, this movie is set in London. We see this girl drinking in a bar, getting really drunk. What happened?
We have to move the clothes.
Why?
It's distracting me.
Okay.
I see your head just moving in it. Hold on. Okay.
Is it better now?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
I think maybe we could leave this in. I don't
Yeah.
know. Sure.
So, this girl is getting drunk in a bar, and then a guy comes up to her, is like, "Can I buy you a drink?" She's like, "Sure." She drinks another drink with him, goes home with him, and then the next morning she wakes up, she realizes, oh, I'm in a stranger's bed, and then this guy is sitting on the bed, is like, "Hey, good morning. Here's a cup of coffee. I'm gonna go to the grocery store, grab some breakfast stuff. I'm gonna make you breakfast. You can take a shower by the time I come back." She's really happy. She's like, "Okay, fine." She jumps into the shower. And then she hears someone come in. She thinks it's the guy, but then she hears what the person is saying. It's like, "Hey, honey, I'm back. I came home early from my work trip." And then the girlfriend who's walking in thinks that the boyfriend is in the shower. So she opens the shower curtain, finds our heroine in there, and she's like, "Oh my God, who are you?" And then it turns out the guy, so this girl's name is Kate, our heroine, our main character of the movie. She realizes that she slept with someone who's in a relationship, and then she gets thrown out of that house, all wet from the shower. She barely has time to put her clothes on. And then the girlfriend also throws out her suitcase. So Kate is living out of her suitcase right now. She has no house. She drags it around, gets ready for work. So she works in a Christmas shop in the middle of London, and it's like all snowy. All the decorations are for Christmas. It's the spirit, the cheer and everything all around town. And she goes to work in this disheveled condition. And then her boss is like, "Where the fuck were you? You're late again. I had to open the store. Why did I hire you for anything? Like, if you can't even work properly."
And what's her job again?
She just works as a salesperson in a Christmas store.
Okay.
And this is like a 365 days Christmas store. Like, it's not a seasonal store. You can buy all sorts of weird things that you can relate to Christmas. Like, there's a Christmas gibbon and like walruses and stuff.
Oh.
So the owner of the store is like a Chinese woman. So she has access to all these websites, so she can buy all the stuff for cheap. And like, it's her job to sell the weird Christmas stuff to people. So Kate doesn't want to work at all. She's just lazing around. Her life is a complete mess. And then she looks outside the store window. She's cleaning the window and she looks outside. There's this guy who's just looking up at something. And she's like, "Oh, I wonder what this man is doing." She walks out the store to talk to him. She walks behind him and she spooks him. He's like, "Oh my God, where did you come from?" She's like, "What are you looking at?" And she starts looking up again. It's like he's looking at a falcon who's sitting at a ledge, and he's like, "Oh, I've been following this bird," or like, "It's so weird to see a falcon here." The moment Kate looks up, the bird poops in her eye. And she's like, "Oh my God, what the hell?" And she runs back into the store. This guy gives her his handkerchief to clean her face. And then she's like, "I don't want to talk to you. Just leave me alone." He's like, "Oh, but like, getting pooped on by a bird is good luck." So she's like, "It's fine, whatever." She goes back to work and he's like, "Can I take you out on a walk?" He's like, "What? Do you think I'm a dog? What do you mean you want to take me out on a walk?" He's like, "No, I just wanted to, She's like, "No, I'm not interested. Just leave." So the guy leaves. She gets back to her work. And now she has no place to live, right? So she's calling up all her friends.
Wait, why not?
She just doesn't have a home.
Oh, okay.
She is scout surfing from one friend to another friend's
Okay.
house for some reason. And she calls up another friend. She's like, "Hey, can I stay over for a few days?" And her friend agrees. And then Kate's sister comes to the store and she's like, "Where the fuck have you been? Our mom has been trying to call you. You've missed 5 doctor's appointments. Like, she's worried about you." And she's like, "Oh, it's fine. Whatever. I'm doing okay." And the sister starts screaming at Kate, like, "If you don't answer, our mom bothers me and my life gets, complicated and irritated and everything. So just please get your shit together and call our mother and go to your fucking doctor's appointment." But Kate just ignores it. She goes about her day, goes to the friend's house, and and her friend is pregnant. She's about to give birth in like a month or like a few weeks, and the only place available in the house for Kate to stay is their nursery, but they haven't put the crib in yet, so there's like a twin mattress there. And Kate is like, "Okay, thank you," and everything. And then the friend is also asking her, "How have you been? How's life? Are you taking care of yourself? Have you been to the doctors?" And Kate just deflects all those questions, and then she passes out on the sofa. And the friend is like, "It's fine." Like, she tells her husband it's fine, she's gonna leave in a few days. He doesn't want Kate in the house because the last time she stayed over, she set fire to his this model of a ship that he was making out of like ice cream sticks and stuff. She lit fire to that. Another friend who she was living with before, Kate was living with before, she put her hair dryer at the edge of a fish tank, and the hair dryer fell in, fried the fish, and blew out the whole circuit. So she got kicked out of that person's house. So this girl is like, "It's fine. Like, she'll leave in a few days." Then, while the couple is having dinner, Kate wakes up from her nap. She's like, "Oh, you guys are eating. I'm just going to go out." So she goes out drinking again and bring back another man to this house. So in the morning, she's like, "Oh my God, we woke up late." She tries to sneak him out, but obviously the couple is awake and it's a small house. They could hear everything. So she gets kicked out of that apartment too because she, violated their privacy and everything. So, and then the next day she goes back to the store, she does her own thing. And that night when she leaves, she realizes she has an audition at 6 p.m. and she's in a hurry. So she leaves the store without locking it. And she runs to her audition. She's a singer, and she's auditioning for something. So she is late to her audition, bombs it. It does not go well at all. And then she's walking back. Again, she's homeless. She has nowhere to go. She's walking back with her suitcase and she runs into that guy again. The guy who was, because of whom she got pooped on. And she's like, "Are you stalking me? What are you doing here?" He's like, "No, I'll work in the area. I'm a delivery guy." And then he finally introduces himself to Kate. He's like, "Hey, I'm Tom. Nice to meet you." She's like, "Nice to meet you too." And he's like, "Let me walk you." And she's like, "What is with you and walking?" He's like, "Why do you have your suitcase?" Or she's like, "Oh, I don't have a place to live right now." So he's like, "Okay, let me show you around." So he introduces himself, and then she tells him about her. No, all the pronouns are coming out wrong from my mouth. Kate tells Tom about what she does. She's like, "I'm not a professional elf. This is just like a part-time job. I'm a singer. I've been auditioning, but I haven't been able to sing really well. My life isn't going well." And he's like, "Oh, I understand. It's okay." And then she's like, "Oh, it's boring. Like, you tell me something about yourself." He's like, "No, it's not boring. Just, I'm interested. Tell me." And she deflects the topic. They walk around London looking at the lights and the small things in the neighborhood. And then he takes her to a secret garden. Like, it's like a small park in the middle of a residential area, and they go and sit on a bench. It's really pretty. There's like trees and bushes and a lot of benches and like twinkly lights over it, and a few people are sitting on different benches. And then he explains to her like who all these people are. Like, "Oh, this woman sits here and knits all the time. That guy is homeless, or that guy is divorced." And she's like, "How do you know everything about these people?" He's like, "Oh, I'm a good observer." And he's like, "These are all secrets. You're not supposed to tell anyone." She's like, "You just told me they're secrets." So he's like, "Oh, I trust you. You're not going to tell anyone." So they talk, they have a good time. And then she finally decides to call her mom, and oh no, she doesn't have another place to go that night. Something happens, so they part ways, and then again she goes, oh, and then the next day after the audition and everything, when she goes to the store has been broken in because she left it unlocked. Somebody robbed the store. There's police in there. The store owner is in there. And she makes an excuse for Kate. Like, no, I'm sure she locked the store and everything. And the police write their report and leave. And the store owner is really mad at Kate. She's like, I had to break my own window so that I could get covered by insurance because you left the fucking store unlocked. How can you be so irresponsible, Kate? You were such a good worker. That's why I hired you. And after your operation, you completely have lost it. You don't care about anyone except yourself. You don't even care about yourself. But still, from the good of my heart, I'm giving you one last chance. If you mess up again, then you're out of here. So Kate,
What operation?
she had a heart surgery.
Oh, okay.
But she doesn't like talking about it or taking care of herself, apparently. So she's a hot mess. Okay. Then what happens? Okay. Then finally, and then she runs into Tom again the next night because he works in the area and she's always bumping into him, and she's like, can you give me your phone number so I don't have to look for you or I don't get a surprise. She's like, oh, I don't have a phone. And she's like, why do you keep getting weirder and weirder? How do you not have a phone? He's like, oh, I have a phone, but it's in a cupboard. I was too attached to it, so I'm taking a break. And then she's like, okay, fine. And he's like, why are you still roaming around with a suitcase? She's like, oh, I'm homeless. So he takes her to a homeless shelter. And she's like, why did you bring me here? He's like, didn't you say you're homeless? He's like, not in that way. I have parents who live here in London. I mean, I don't want to go there, but he's like, so just call your mom, go home. And she's like, but why did you bring me here? He's like, oh, I volunteer here. So this guy volunteers at a homeless shelter, but then she realizes, okay, fine, I'll finally call my mom. So she calls her mother and she's like, oh, I'm coming home. And she calls herself a cab. In the cab ride home, she's crying about her whole life. Like, why am I like this? Why is my life like this?
To the cab driver?
To the cab driver. And then when she reaches her home, she's like, thanks, Dad. Thank you for dropping me. So her dad is a cab driver. So she ended up in his cab. And then she's like, are you coming home? He's like, no, I'm not going to come in until your mother is asleep. So the parents don't talk to each other. They don't like each other. He's like, oh, she's going to talk a lot. I'll just come home when she's asleep. So Kate and her family, they moved to London from Russia during the war. And then Kate's dad used to be a lawyer in Yugoslavia, but because when they moved here, he didn't have enough money to retrain, so he never practiced law again, and he's just a cab driver. He's very unhappy. The mother is very unhappy. The sister is the only one who has like a really nice job and everything, but she doesn't hang out with the family much. She has her own life and a girlfriend. So Kate finally goes home. The mother is very happy. She's like, oh my God, thank God you're alive. You don't answer my texts or Snapchat or Instagram. Her mother is everywhere. She follows her daughter in all the socials. And she's like, I thought you died, but I'm happy you're home. Just imagine Emma Thompson talking in a Russian accent. Emma Thompson is the mother in this movie. And she's really funny. So she puts Kate to bed and like sings her to sleep and everything. And Kate is like, oh my God, please stop. It's because she doesn't really sing well. And then the next day, they go to the doctor finally. And the doctor is asking, okay, Kate, it's been a year since your surgery. Are you taking care of yourself? Are you exercising? Are you eating vegetarian food? No drinking? Kate says, yeah, I'm doing everything. But the mother is like, no, she is not doing anything you just said. And the doctor is like, Kate, you have to take care of yourself. Otherwise, you're going to get sick again. She's like, fine, whatever, I'll do it. And then they finally leave the doctor's office. But Kate doesn't want to change anything about her life still. Her mother is after her, but she's like, I don't give a fuck. She goes back to the store, keeps working there.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
At any point in the story, am I going to like her?
No.
I'm gonna hate her the
Not
whole
really.
time.
No, at the end, I think you will like her.
Okay.
Yeah, but when you understand why she's doing what she's doing, then you will like her.
Okay.
Yeah, but just be patient.
Sorry. I struggle with patience. I'm like,
Shreya.
all right, okay.
Where is this going? I've already turned it off twice ahead.
I know. I'm like,
Get
this
on
is
with
why
it.
I know. I'm like, this is why we fast forward. Okay.
Trust me, this is the fast forward version of the story.
Thank God.
Yeah.
That's why we have this podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
I would not be able to sit through this movie.
Yeah, you wouldn't. Then she goes back to work. Tom finally comes back around and he's like, oh, can I help you clean and everything? They're talking, they get to know each other a lot. She likes him, he likes her. And then she talks about her family with him, like, you know, we had to escape the war, that's why none of us are happy, and after I got sick, my mom's whole sense of being was that she had to take care of me, and then after my operation, when I got better, she has no purpose in life, so she's just depressed. So she's just, you know, Tom tries to like, it's fine, you're doing your best, just, you know, try to mend things with your family, you'll be fine. He just tries to, how do you say it, pacify her that, you know, it's going to be fine, you can talk to me when you need, and all of that. Then Tom takes her to an ice rink for ice skating because a few days ago Kate said she has an audition for Frozen on ice and she doesn't know how to skate. So he's like, oh, let's just, you know, I'll teach you. So after hours, they go to a ice skating rink. He teaches her how to skate and everything. She does a good job. And then the security guard comes in and he chases them off. And they run out. And then he drops her to the bus stop. And then she goes home. And then he goes his own way. The next day at the audition, it goes really well, and then she's the judges are like, oh, at least you showed up dressed well for like the cold and you have ice skates. I've seen people who come up for auditions for this who have never skated in their life. Some girl showed up in flip-flops and crop top, and Kate is like, yeah, at least I know how to skate, not knowing that she only learned last night.
Yeah.
And then she leaves. She thinks the audition went really well. And then she goes to the homeless shelter to look for Tom because, again, she doesn't have his number, right? He doesn't have a phone. And she goes inside, looks at, she asks the person at the desk, like, hey, I'm looking for Tom. He's like, Tom. And then like 5 Toms are like, yeah, I'm here, but that they're not the Tom she's looking for. She's like, no, I'm not looking for a homeless guy. I'm looking for a person called Tom Webster who volunteers here. He's like, oh, maybe he might be in the night shift. I don't know him, but if I see him, I'll let him know that you're looking for him. So she's like, okay, then she leaves, and then she looks at, like, you know, how many people are there and how short fund, like low on funds they are for food for so many people. There's like a huge line outside the homeless shelter, but she can't do anything about it. She herself is really poor, so she leaves. And then she goes home drunk again, and she realizes that she missed a family dinner. She was supposed to be home to celebrate her sister's promotion, but she missed it. She's, you know, sitting at the dining table and she's like, why are we even doing this? We don't like each other. Why do we have to pretend that, you know, your other successful daughter loves you? Because she lives away in the city, doesn't care about you guys, and she hasn't even told you guys that she has a girlfriend. So Kate
outed her
sister in front of her parents, and the mother is shocked. She's like, no, I thought Alba was your roommate. And then I think her sister's name is Marta. She's angry. She's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, just because you don't want to live and you are unhappy with who you are doesn't mean everybody else need to be miserable. I became a lawyer because our dad couldn't practice law anymore. I'm doing this to, you know, maybe compensate for something, but nobody is happy. What the fuck am I even doing this for? And she leaves. Mother is upset. The dad runs after the sister, and Kate has no remorse. She's like, but she feels a little guilty, but ab kya kar sakte hain? It's too late. So she also goes to bed. Then,
this bitch, how can she sleep after that?
Exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah. Oh, and then But she doesn't. She leaves the house again. She's like, oh my god, what do I do now? She goes to a bar, gets more drunk, and then she starts looking for Tom. And then she finally finds him.
At a bar.
No, not at a bar, outside the homeless shelter.
Okay.
And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry that happened. Let me take you home. So he finally takes her back to his apartment. It's a really tiny studio, very, very neat. It's like nobody even touched anything. It's clean, really, really clean. And Kate is afraid to sit on any furniture. That if she's like, oh, I'm scared, I'm gonna mess something. So she sits on the floor, and then he sits on the floor with her, and then she starts talking to him about her surgery. She's like, a year ago, I was in heart failure, and when I got my heart transplant, they took out my heart, threw it out, and put something else in me that doesn't feel like my heart. That's why I feel like that's why she is so lost. She doesn't feel like herself anymore, because the piece of the thing that's in her chest isn't hers, and she feels disconnected with it. And everybody tells her that she's lucky to be alive, but she doesn't feel lucky to be alive. She just feels lost. And then Tom is like, it's hard being a human being. It's hard being getting up every day, trying to live up to other people's expectations. But you went through a lot. Nobody else went through it. Your family experienced different emotions, but you having no care for your own self is discouraging for them. So if make peace with, this is who you are now, even though you got somebody else's heart, it's part of you. It's that is what keeping you alive. That will help you. So she cries her eyes out, and he's consoles her and everything, and he puts her to bed. And then she sleeps, and the next day she wakes up with a new spirit for life. She gets her life back together. She goes to work on time. She apologizes to her boss. She apologizes to her parents, and then she gives buys presents for her friends that she messed up with, the guy whose fish she killed and the pregnant lady. She apologizes to all of them. And then she goes to the homeless shelter, and then she puts up a board, and then keeps a cup in front of her and starts singing to collect funds to help them. So she does that. Whatever money she collects, she gives it to them. And then she finally goes to her sister's apartment to apologize to her. It's like, I'm really sorry I did that. Sister screams at her some more. It's like, that was unfair. How dare you do that? But then her sister is like, it's fine. I forgive you, your family. So she's made amends with everyone. And then every day after her work, she sings in front of the homeless shelter to collect money. But then she finally comes up with the idea of organizing a fundraiser or a talent show that everybody at the homeless shelter plus the homeless people, she auditions all of them, like, okay, somebody can sing, somebody can dance and everything. So they put up a whole show to raise money for them subsequently. And it's been a few days that she hasn't seen Tom. Her boss keeps asking her, so how is Tom, where is he, can I finally meet him? She's like, I don't know where he is, I haven't seen him in a while. So a few nights later she finally goes to look for him. She's like, where the fuck have you been? And she didn't get the frozen on ice part of the audition for the show, but she doesn't care about it anymore. She's actually finally, realizing, okay, there's a purpose to me being alive. I should do something with my life.
Mm-hmm.
So she finds him at the bench in the park where they used to meet. And she's like, hi, where have you been? I missed you and everything. And she kisses him, and then he's like, I have to tell you something. And she's like, what do you mean you have to tell me something? Don't tell me you have commitment issues and bullshit like that. What is wrong? He's like, I don't think you should be so dependent on me. And she's like, I'm not. And he's like, you just said you weren't able to function properly without me. So I'm telling you, you have to be self reliant. And she's like, okay, I'm done with this shit. I cannot give my mended heart to somebody who's just going to break it again. So you and I are done. And she walks away.
Why would he say that?
We will find out.
Oh my god.
but not long. Hold on.
Okay.
Then she goes back to her life and everything, but then she realizes, okay, I mean, maybe I was too harsh. I should apologize and talk to him. So she looks for him, doesn't find him anywhere. She goes to his apartment and sees that the door is ajar, and she walks in thinking like, maybe he just got home and forgot to lock his door. She walks in, there's somebody else standing in the apartment. It's another man, and he's on the phone, and he hangs up and he's like, hi, are you Mrs. something something? And she's like, no, I'm looking for Tom. And then he's like, oh, who's Tom? Is he supposed to be with you? And she's like, no. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I was on the call, let me just show you this place. And he shows her the apartment. So that guy is a realtor who's selling the studio apartment, and she's like, but I saw Tom here 2 nights ago. And he's like, wait, has somebody been squatting in this apartment? And she's like, I don't know, maybe. And then this guy opens a cabinet, and there's like a phone in there. So he picks up the phone. He's like, oh, I don't know whose phone is it. She's like, oh, Tom said his phone is in a cupboard. Maybe this is the phone. I can get this to him. And then the realtor keeps talking about, yeah, because of the probation on this apartment. When people die, somebody else. There's like a time period before somebody else can take the apartment, or we can sell them. And then Kate is like, who died? What do you mean died? She's like, yeah, the old owner. He was a young man, somebody named Webster. He was on his bike, and then he got run over by a truck. And then Kate is shocked, just like you are right now.
Oh, my jaw is on the floor.
She was on the floor, not her jaw. Kate just literally collapsed. She's like, what do you mean that the last owner is dead? And I will let you recover from it a little bit.
Sorry, my jaw just like clenched. It's hurt. I'm like suddenly a mouth breather. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, yes, you can continue. It's fine.
So Kate runs out of the apartment with the phone, and then she goes back to the bench. She's crying. She doesn't understand what happened. And then she sees Tom again. He's walking towards her, and she's crying. She's like, what do you mean you're dead? Then he tells her, last Christmas, he was biking around town and he was distracted and he got hit by a truck, and then it was like a brain injury or something, but he had a organ donor card on him. And the same night is when Kate's heart gave out and she went into surgery. So she got Tom's heart.
Oh.
And he died. But his heart saved her. That's why she's been hallucinating him, because she felt lost. And somehow the memory of this heart, or whatever, some universal connection to his spirit and everything, made her hallucinate him and give her a purpose to keep living. And then he says to her, no matter how it ended with you, my heart was always supposed to be yours. And then she's crying and she's like, what? And then he's like, and then the whole, in the days before when they met and everything, every time he was showing her around, he's like, oh, look up. So he would, because London has really pretty signs over their doors and all those, I don't know what they're called, the things that are jutting out where the store signs hang and all of those things.
Okay.
There's a really pretty, things that people don't notice because they're always looking down at their phone or their feet. They don't look up. So you're always like, oh, look up. So the bench she's sitting on has a plaque on it that says Tom Webster, 1986 to 2016. And then it said, look up. Because that was his go-to phrase. Yeah, that was his catchphrase. And then he says, take care of my heart and please keep living your life. And then he vanishes. And then Kate finally realizes that, this is the purpose. She shouldn't be wasting her life. She got a second chance, and she realizes that somebody else had to give up their whole life so that she could live. So she has this new spirit in life. she makes amends with all her family. She puts her whole heart and soul into the fundraiser for the homeless shelter people, and then um, everybody, all her family members, and everybody attends it. She says before the show starts, she's like, I am so happy and lucky to be alive and helping each other, and that we are helping each other, and that helping each other is what makes us happy. And then this whole movie is based on the soundtrack by Wham and the song Last Christmas by George Michael. So they perform that song and everybody's happy. The next day, so the concert happens on Christmas Eve. So for Christmas Day and the lunch, so her whole family has Christmas lunch together, including her sister and her girlfriend.
Aw.
So the parents have accepted Martha and her girlfriend Alba, and they're all happy and everything. And then Kate is all like, she's happy now. She's got her life together.
Does she have a gig, like a singing gig?
No. She doesn't. I think she just wanted to give back to the society, so she just helped with the homeless shelter.
Damn, I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
I really thought he was going to be a criminal.
Yeah.
I thought he was squatting, and then that's why he was like, don't be dependent on me. Okay?
Exactly.
And I thought she was going to be like, I'm in love with a criminal. Like, what am I going to do?
But the thing is, in the movie, the way this guy is dressed is like very posh and like, put together.
Oh.
So you don't think for a second that he's a fraud.
Yeah.
Like it's suspicious when he says, I don't have a phone, it's in a cupboard. And when she finds the phone in the cupboard and she's like, oh my God, he's actually a squatter. Maybe he's like a scam artist.
Yeah.
But then when the whole thing unravels, that was shocking.
Wait, but like she walked into the apartment, was it furnished?
Yeah, it was fully furnished.
And then when she walked in now and she saw the realtor,
it was still fully furnished because he just died. So he was out and about on his day when he died, so nobody came back. And he was such a neat guy that he made his bed. Apartment was completely clean.
Damn.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
Mm-hmm.
That was crazy.
Yeah. Even when you watch the trailer for this movie, you don't expect anything like this. You just feel like, oh, it's just a movie about this hot mess girl and like a guy who's gonna put her life back in track. There's no mention of any of the heart surgery or she's ill. None of that.
That's good.
I went into this movie blind and I sobbed my eyes out.
Yeah, that's actually so sweet.
Yeah.
But damn, the pickup. Oh, I was like, kill me now. How many times is this girl gonna screw up her life?
Plus, it's Emilia Clarke. The way she portrays the character is also irritating. I'm like, how are you the same person who's the queen of dragons and you're a hot mess like this?
Yeah, I love Emilia Clarke.
Yeah. She's really irritating in this movie.
No thanks. I'm good.
She has really blonde, patchy hair and like her mascara everywhere. And she's wearing the same elf outfit every single day. It's no.
Who's the male actor? Do you know?
Do you know the guy from Crazy Rich Asians?
Yeah.
Nick?
Yeah, him?
I don't know his name. I think Goldberg something.
Yes!
Yeah, he's Tom.
Oh.
He's Tom Webster. Emma Thompson is the mother. And then Michelle Yeoh is the owner of the Christmas store.
Oh, that's nice. That's a good cast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would have been irritated to see Emilia Clarke. Honestly, any actress, but especially her, I don't think I would have gotten through the movie.
Yeah. But do you believe anything like this is a possibility?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know anyone who got like anything donated, but I'm sure there's like a connection.
Yeah.
Like when you have someone else's organ in you, that you feel a piece of them, you know?
There's another story like this. Do you know the movie P.S. I Love You?
Yeah.
That movie is on a book. So that author wrote another book, which I tried to read like long ago when I was in undergrad. That story was also based on the premise that there's this man who got blood donated to him. And somehow he has these memories of a different life of different people. And then he sees like glimpses of this woman, and suddenly he's in love with this woman. He has a wife and a child, but he is in love with this entirely different woman because he has memories from her. So there's this concept of like, because you got the blood from someone else, you also got the feelings and like, all the things that flow through you.
Yeah.
So I was very intrigued by that concept, but the book was so badly written, I never finished it.
Yeah.
But then when I saw this movie, I was like, oh, so a lot of other people have explored this topic.
Mm-hmm.
Which is very, very interesting in my opinion.
Yeah. I'm surprised he vanished. I thought he would be like a friend for life type thing.
Yeah, but I think for this movie, his purpose was to make sure she keeps living because she was giving up. She didn't want to live or do anything. She was alienating everyone, her friends, her family. So this was like, one push from the universe. Hello, you've been given a second chance.
Mm-hmm.
Take it. This is the price that was paid for you to have this life. So, please.
Yeah.
Don't squander it, kind of thing. The way he said it, like, my heart was supposed to be yours one way or the other.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
To say, like, if he was alive, they still would have been together.
Yes. That's what killed me.
I would punch
a ghost.
A ghost. They said that to me.
Yeah.
Like, what the? Why would you say that?
And when she realizes that he was dead and she was hallucinating, she remembers all the things that she was doing out in public. She was talking to someone. She was in an ice rink, but there was nobody with her.
Yeah, I was thinking. I was like, how did she? Like, haha, Tom, you're so funny.
Yeah,
there's no one there.
Exactly. That's why he only showed up at night. Because she was done with work and everything. Even at work, when he showed up, like, there was nobody else around. That's why her boss never saw him, even though he showed up at the store a couple of times. Yeah.
Where was he when she forgot to lock the door?
That would have made him her guardian angel. He wasn't that. He was just, a guiding light.
I guess he should have guided her to lock the down door.
Yeah, she had to hit rock bottom before she could realize, okay, it's time.
Yeah.
That was one of the last straws, I want to say.
Yeah, and then he's like, all right, I gotta step in again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn. Mm-hmm. I really didn't expect that.
Yeah. Because I was like, oh, what if I actually made her watch this? But I was like, no, I don't want to get murdered. So I'll just tell her what happens. Because the whole time she's like, what the fuck is this here?
Yeah.
What are you putting me through?
Let's turn it off. Yeah. I hate her. Yeah. I don't like her. I don't want her to find love. She's making it so difficult. Like, Tom, why do you want to go on walks? Yeah. She has a point. Why do you want to go on a walk? Yeah. A normal person would be like, oh, let's grab coffee and then walk around.
Yeah, but they would meet after 6 p.m. when everything is closed.
Yeah. So
she was just walking around London with a suitcase and talking to thin air.
Yeah. I judge her so much. Like your friends are helping you. You don't have a place to stay, and you're still getting drunk and bringing guys over. Like, come on, you stupid bitch. Like, you can hate yourself, but like, at least be respectful to people around you. And they're your friends. Like, I'm sure her friends have tried to point her in a direction she just didn't want to take it.
She alienated her family, her sister.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's fine to be lost. Sure, everyone has those moments, but to really, like, kind of push away people who are helping you too, that's a little much.
Yeah.
Like, that's pushing it. Mm-hmm. Stop fucking drinking. Oh my God.
Yeah.
At the like, when you set the scene of, like, in the beginning where she got tossed out, I was like, there we go, a messy girl, and then she's gonna stumble upon a cute guy, and then they're gonna make it work, and blah blah blah. Or like, she finally has a one-night stand with a person, and then she leaves them, and then he's like, that's it? And she's like, what, you wanted more?
Yeah.
And he'd be like, I mean, I had such a good time. I'd love to see you again. She's like, that's not how this works, okay? I am such a mess. I sleep and then I don't have a place to stay. I need to go to my Christmas shop and work. You will never see me again.
Yeah.
And then she's working at a Christmas store, and then this man comes back and is like, oh, fine to see you here. And she's like, I thought I got rid of you before. Like, that's how I thought it was going to play out. And it didn't. And I was like, oh.
You underestimated me. Why would I tell you a boring old story?
I mean, yeah, that's true. I was like, that's why I had to stop and be like, fast forward. Like, come on. When does it get interesting? Like, why did she pick this movie? And I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I mean, like, it's sweet. I don't feel like crying. Like, the other one, I cried. I bawled my eyes out. I forgot. The Last Vow? What?
Oh,
The Vow?
No. The Vow. Oh, the one before that. Best of Me.
Yeah, Best of Me. Oh my God. Yeah. I died. That, I cried. I cried.
I will keep sprinkling Nicholas Spark in between.
Yeah.
Because you need a good dose of Nicholas Spark.
Yeah, that's true. But this one's good. I'll never watch it.
No. This is the last time I'm ever watching it.
Yeah.
The first time I watched it was enough, but then to tell it to you again, I had to, brush it up. But then that's it.
Yeah, it's definitely a one-time watch and listen.
Because when you know the plot twist, then there's no point in rewatching it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool. Let's end the episode.
Yep.
If this episode piqued your interest and you want more details, then watch the movie. See you in the next episode.